Alright, so we are back here with another Dawn of War. This is a pretty quick one. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's like 10 minutes, maybe 7. But I want to show you guys how tilty this can get. How you can go from being down and then winning. And that's honestly what happens in this game. I had some pretty shit engagements because I spread myself pretty thin to start. But my opponent here, he went with White Scars. One of the less played Space Marine factions in the tabletop, just because, you know, painting white is an unbelievable pain in the ass. Basically, in order to paint white on tabletop, you have to layer darker gray to lighter gray to a lightest gray to then edge highlight with white. But hey, you know, that's neither here nor there. He went with the Assault Terminators, the Terminators, and the Kill Team. So that would have been a pretty vicious combination to have up at once. Had his Emperor's Influence, reduces the ability cooldown of Plant the Standard, which is strong, and Tip of the Spear. I had a feeling he had this because when I went to fight one of his listening posts, it was a little stockier than I thought it was. Oh, this isn't that one. This isn't that one. This is just the one that heals him. And then the Slow Death, which is, I think, one of the best early TAC Marine doctrines you can get, because it slows infantry and immobilizes vehicles when you use the Flamer. And the Flamer is so strong early game that it makes the translation into the mid to late game a little bit stronger until you can sub out those units for something different. But we get the first engagement here from me. Switch back to me. Take off that fog of war. Take off your fog of war, you dirty whore. But I knew what was going on here, so I decided, hey, I'll kind of let him take this, but I'll harass him a little bit while I grab the bottom. I wanted that bottom. This is, I believe, the elite one. No, it's not. Is this elite one? Yeah, this is the elite one. So this one actually will generate elite points for you, which is huge because you can get your elite units out quicker or more often if they do come down. So you guys get to see a fun tactic here with these stealth shrouds. They're stealth ability, stealth zones. I've used them in beta, and so I knew they were there, but I didn't realize something that I'll show you my opponent didn't as well. I don't want to get my head of myself. I want to show it to you because it won't make sense. But capturing this thing is so important. Like, this can make holding out or either holding or defending a point huge, huge. So he took it. So now it's going to be damn near impossible for me to break it because I have to break that shield before I can break down. Orcs can just charge on in there and melee the hell out of crap. But look at that Bone Singer, man. Just scuttling around. She's just like singing as she runs, like all drunk and shit. But so I knew it was coming. Got some grenades up here. He kind of made the mistake of clumping up. I knew he was coming back down again with more. Zing. So it's a really great ability to just knock back units and get yourself in a... Oh man, as soon as that banner went down, I was like, no, thank you. Went with my typical 3 Dire Avengers advance, and this ability here to give these guys some additional shields is huge. So here's where things get a little spicy. Spicy sausage. I'm all about like retreating and then just keeping pressure on. I for some reason, because of the nature of these style of games, you can't retreat 100% and rebuild, because then you do what you've probably seen before, some of my other videos, where it's just a tug of war from army to army. If you can keep the initiative on, you're in a huge advantage here. So I knew he was coming up there, so I brought... I'm waiting here for my Striking Scorpion. Yeah, there it is. Because if you hover over here, it'll tell you, okay, 115 seconds. Bring the Scorpions in. Now, see, I'm parked over here. Oh, never mind. I thought I'd go there. But now, huge. I destroy his servitor so he can't finish this, because, like, there's no reason to fight anything except for that, because that thing's just going to be more damage on you. And keep in mind though, if those things do prolonged damage, they do light things on fire and kill everything. And kill teams are a really good way to tech into flamers real quick, because I don't think he's built an arsenal yet. Yeah, so he hasn't built an arsenal, so he cannot make flamers on their own for his tac squads. He's got Devastator Marines out, which are heavy bolters, which even in tabletop tear up Eldar. So I just barely saw those when I was sneaking past the line here. So there's some advanced tactics coming up. I think you guys will really enjoy what's coming. Speed this up here. Okay. So remember we talked about those shrouds here. Thwomp. So I can see his units. I'm trying to bait him out there. Yep. Now, you have to be careful because when you go into these shrouds, your units won't attack. You have to tell them to attack. That might seem like common sense, but you'll see why. That's important to note. So I've almost completely traded for his Iron Maw, and my guys just lost their shields, and that's it. The Scorpions. And I'm shooting on them with my Rangers here. Gotta keep that pressure going. The pathing for your units is kind of wonky. They'll go from forward to back to forward to back to forward to back.
Summoning Rangers.
Again, I could have been a little more aggressive here, but those things tend, those listening posts tended to scare me a little bit. But he got a chance to fully reinforce. But I don't think... Let me look at him. Let me pop over to him real quick. He didn't have a ton of requisition, so... I did a really good job, too, of keeping requisition on everything. Like, keeping as much up as I could, even though I only had 3 nodes and he had 4. But you'll see here comes the coup de grace. So remember, you can't... Your guys aren't going to automatically attack from the shroud. Gotta bait him out, gotta bait him out. Wait for that giant ass grenade. These kill maw grenades are so strong. So strong. And right into it. There we go. And just, you can see what they do. They just rip up Iron Maw. Not Kill Maw. Kill Team Iron Maw. But see, his Devastators aren't shooting at all. And I'm ripping apart the rest of his army. I mean, finally they get some flamers out, but by then I think I have my Rangers come and pluck them up. So his Devastators are dead. His other tack squads are down. He's got 1 left here. I still have a full army. So you see that those stealth shrouds are advantageous because you can control when you engage or have people look at you, just like you can in, like, say, League of Legends, but you have to be careful that you don't let yourself stay exposed. And at this point I was like, screw it, let the striking Scorpions watch. I knew Maka was coming up anyway, so. And at this point, I think my opponent kind of knows that he was kind of behind the curve. Yeah. Knock down this here listening post. Yeah, so if you notice, my guys stop firing and firing. Stop firing and firing. It's because of the weird targeting I've talked about before when it comes to actually selecting listening posts. It's really, really wonky. I mean, you can really use it to your advantage to kind of cheese a point, but it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Our webway assembly should attain tier 2.
Speed this up a bit. Yeah, and at that point he kind of knew he was behind the times. So that's what I mean about this game being very tilty. I went from being pretty diminished force-wise to then building up and capitalizing on innate mistakes my opponent made, as well as realizing mechanics that are gonna probably fuck them up. I knew that being in that shroud is gonna you're not gonna attack. And when as soon as I saw his units go in there, I'm like, I bet you some of his units are not gonna attack. So it's just something I learned in beta the hard way, of having my units not attack and getting completely capitalized on. But you can see real quick that games tend to last about 10-15 minutes because it's a quick tilt back and forth. Whoever can kind of capture the nodes and keep that pressure on is typically the winner. Or you end up in a situation like this where you're gonna overextend and someone's gonna tilt back against you. So I'm glad I could show off this example of, you know, the tiltiness of Dawn of War. I'm really loving it though. If you haven't picked it up and you're wondering, I can't encourage it enough. If you play Dawn of War 1 and 2, it's it's not similar to them, but it's its own game. It's not derivative, that's for sure. It's derivative only in its source material. So it takes what I love about the tabletop and does pretty good justice to it here in the game. My biggest gripe with the actual mechanics of the game is the fact that Space Marines don't have normal armor. They have Space Marine armor. They have power armor. They're 3+ save. That shit ain't normal. That's a 50-50 win right there. So that's probably my only complaint about it. People that are big into the fluff like I am will probably look at that and kind of sneer. But for the most part, it's a lovely game. I enjoy it. There'll be more commentaries and playbacks and live casts and multi-class casts coming up for this and for Total Warhammer. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching and have a good one. Bye.